why the clips is so fire is because they're men and they're man rappers. I'm not saying they outside building houses, but they don't got a fucking crop top on and bedazzled. They're not doing girly talks. They're not like playing internet games. They're not playing on internet. Like, yes, I understand the internet and social media is a big thing, but you also need to maintain like being manly. Like, you don't need to be outside chopping wood. Let's relax. You can have a nighttime routine, but it's way too many fashionista men who partake in girly behaviors. Like, the clips really is hip-hop culture where it shows like manly energy. It's a huge disparity between girly guys and men who really want to be men and don't partake in BS and out on the internet talking gossipy things. They don't even let people ask them. They don't let people bait them. That's one thing I appreciate. I appreciate men who are smart psychologically. Like, they're not getting involved in the bullshit. And that shit should be celebrated because there's a lot of y'all men that are girly as fuck and it ain't hot. No.
Class in session. If you notice in a lot of my videos, I consistently speak about the duality. And I talk about this spiritual warfare that's been going on. But we always talk about how this is way bigger than just Kendrick versus Drake. This is what we mean when we talk about the warrior in the garden. This is what Bruce Lee was talking about when he talks about be like water. Don't be like gas. Don't be solid. Be water. This is about finding strength from within as opposed to consistently looking for external stimulation and validation. We've seen this throughout history multiple times. We can even talk about the difference between Western civilization and Eastern civilization. As some of y'all already know, I have my degree in computer animation. And one of the classes I took in order to get that degree was about art history. And if you know anything about the history of art, the mass majority of our stories and our art were based around explaining how we came to be human. We talk about the sun, we talk about the moon, and this is the basis for the mass majority of our religions. Western civilizations, when it comes to religion, are usually focused on something external. So you'll see Jesus is outside of yourself. You'll see the cross itself is our Father, the Son of God. Now, the other end, you have Eastern religions, where you see yin and yang. You see the Hindu put the red dot on their forehead for the third eye. You see the motherland, it's Africa. You see the Ankh. So the Ankh is also the mother and the father. It's the divine feminine and divine masculine. That's the Pythagorean theorem. It's not A squared or B squared, it's C squared. This is the middle way, like Buddha. Going back to just femininity itself and patriarchy and the matriarchy, it's deeper than just hating women. It's hating the femininity. It's hating the subconscious. Look at the interpretations of the devil. They're always extremely feminine and flamboyant. The Jezebel spirit, feminine. The sirens, feminine. They're always being depicted as extremely feminine because it's not just the physical flesh. It's the disrespect and the refusal to acknowledge and find strength within that subconscious. Like I said earlier, this goes back to ancient Egypt. You have the Ankh on King Tut's tomb. We have the Ankh inside the pyramid. Certain civilizations, they saw cats as gods because it wasn't because cats have 9 physical lives. It's about 9 reincarnations of the same life. It's multiple cycles of the hero's journey. No different than the snake shedding its skin. Some cultures worship and put snakes as godly as well because the exact same reason. So these philosophies have been going at it since the beginning of time. We could talk about the Crusades. We could talk about philosophical circles. So these conversations will be had forever. It's not just about Kendrick and Drake.
Okay, this is my last video because I got stuff to do. The reason why the Clips album is having the impact that it's having is not just because of the rollout. The rollout is phenomenal. The marketing team, y'all get all of your 10s. 10, 10, 10s across the board. The reason why it's hitting the way that it's hitting is because rappers nowadays cannot retire because the torch is not going to get adequately handed off. So rappers now do have to rap into their 40s and 50s because there's not shit that a 20-year-old can say right now. The unfortunate part is the 20-year-olds, the teens and the 20-year-olds that are rapping today, they do not understand rap in the science that it is. And the reason why I'm calling it a science, if you do not understand that rap is a science, you hear Pusha T and Malice and you think you're hearing the same thing, not realizing that Pusha T is a rapper and Malice is a scientist. They both are doing the same thing as far as like physically rapping to music, but Malice is the scientist of the two. And having that kind of technique, that kind of ability that Malice has, is something that a lot of rappers who are famous do not have.
And I want to talk about this because y'all see a lot of these rappers are 30 plus. Even though Travis Scott tried to call Pusha T old, Travis Scott is 35. Playboy Cardi, he may look young, he's 30. Drake, he may act young, he's almost 40. So Kendrick, Future, man, y'all got to understand. Remember when hip hop used to be a young man's game? Now, it's completely different. Remember the conversations we used to have when Andre 3000 was talking about how he really didn't know what to rap about anymore. So it seems like some people took that as a challenge and said, cool, bet. So that used to be a big thing. And now you see how art is a reflection of our society. A lot of these kids are having struggle reading. A lot of these kids are going into the booth high, freestyling. They don't actually sit down and write. They don't understand that Lil Wayne and Jay-Z, they've spent so much time writing that freestyling is easy. The same way, I don't write any scripts for these videos. I am a teacher. I know what I'm talking about. I write so much. I know what I'm talking about so much. I can just look in front of the camera and speak it. Which is why you can feel it in my vibration. You can feel it in my body language, in my eyes. This is coming from the heart. This is coming from the soul. Eyes are the window to the soul. I have no issue sharing my soul. A lot of these guys, they don't understand the science behind the art. They just see it as music. They don't see it as frequency like I was talking about earlier. So it's one side that sees the strength in the subconscious, and the other side completely ignores it. Remember when Andrew Schultz was having those situation with Kendrick, and he was saying how everything is fake woke, and Kendrick and that side of the beef is fake deep. I don't think y'all understand, through 30,000 years of human history, this is the only time period that the average person can read. Do you understand how crazy that is? Remember, a few videos ago, I told y'all how for 400 years, as slaves, we could read. During medieval times, only 1% of the population could read. Women were not allowed to read. Come on, man. So understand how crazy it is, the fact that we have social media, that we can have these conversations. And so that's the reason why I keep bringing up the pandemic itself. I truly believe that the pandemic is going to be the biggest shift in our human history. Because not only could we read, we have social media to communicate with one another around the world. We could learn about different religions. We could learn different languages. We could learn different cultures. And everyone on planet Earth had no choice but to sit down with our own thoughts and address our own subconscious. There's no way you think something wasn't going to happen.
Because I know, Malice, you stepped away for a while.
Right.
And on Birds Don't Sing, you speak of the conversation where you got your father's blessing to return.
Right.
Like, what sparked that? Like, what made you want to get back into this game?
It wasn't so much that I wanted to get back into this game. I think what happens a lot of time. No, I think what happens a lot of times when people come or find faith, it paralyzes them where they don't want to do anything. And I do believe you do need to sit down and you need to read, and you need to study, and you need to find, what this whole life thing is about. And then, and only then, there's a lot of liberty. It's a lot of liberty in the Word of God. And I just had a space that I know that only I can occupy. I mean, I believe that there's others who could if they chose to, but they don't. And, and I wouldn't come in any time earlier than this, I felt like this was the right time. And so I asked my dad, I said, what do you think about me rapping again? And he said, son, I think you've been too hard on yourself. And I had no idea. My dad's a deacon, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I had no idea that that would even come out of his mouth, you know. He never bad mouth rap or anything like that. He bought me my first Gemini mixer technique system, you know what I'm saying? My Mattel beat machine. Like, he supported me, you know, as far as me rapping. He didn't think it'd go anywhere, but he definitely did that or whatever. So I think the time was right.
Dog, this makes so much sense. Y'all remember Sinners? Juicy J and Project Pat, their father was a pastor. There's the religion and spirituality and music is directly connected. It's always been connected. It's always been connected. And as Malice was speaking, it shows me exactly why they don't vibe with Kanye anymore. The exact same reason why. Because this is the philosophy difference that I'm talking about. How Kanye sees himself as the literal embodiment of God. He is God. Remember, I am God, I am God. Malice and Push, like in Sinners, they understand they're just the griots, they're the mediums. We know our place as an artist. Kanye thinks he's the literal embodiment of the frequency. This is exactly what we're talking about. These two energies can never get along, ever. So Kanye, he's possessed by the shadow. He doesn't understand that we're human. Like I said, a spiritual being having a human experience. We can only feel and interpret a certain amount of frequency. Think about dog whistles. We can't hear that frequency. We can only see the colors we see. There's animals that can see different colors. Color is frequency. Energy is frequency. We can only interpret what we interpret. So it's literally impossible for Kanye to be a god. You are a literal narcissist. Have you ever heard the phrase, if the devil wants to reach you, they send a narcissist? Kanye, he makes it way too obvious. I told y'all, this is the reason why they don't get along anymore. Kanye, he wore that mask for a little bit. But when you're around true spiritual people, it doesn't last long, man, at all.
How do you allow the faith to come in without making the music something radically different than what you were? In other words, like, the music still has an edge to it. It's still hard. It still feels like y'all, but you have this new faith. Some people, when they get faith, the music is real bad.
That definitely can happen, but that also comes from sitting and reading, because when you know the word of God, it will show you and teach you that nobody is perfect. And I don't even have to see you do something wrong to know that you do something wrong. Something, you know. And so
a deacon, son.
I was about to say, he is preaching right now.
Yeah, he preaching. That's it.
Yeah, you feel like that's it?
He got it. Oh yeah, he got it.
Yeah,
I think this is my platform. I think this is the platform
This is your ministry.
Yeah, this right here is my ministry, and I look at it as such. Definitely.
That's powerful.
Dog, class. Hope you've been taking some notes, man. And that just proves the point that when you see people call Tupac a hypocrite, you see people call Kendrick a hypocrite, you see people call Clips a hypocrite. This is what we talk about, the duality of masculinity. This is what we've been talking about since the very beginning of the video. Duality. Exactly what we mean. It's not necessarily about being perfect. It's understanding that my job is just keep it to a minimum. So a lot of times we were raised to grow up, to go down the yellow brick road, if it's the Wizard of Oz or from Kung Fu Panda, chase after this dragon scroll. In reality, I am. Like I mentioned, the last dragon. We don't have to go down this long journey. I am the master. We've always been. So now we wake up and we see ourselves as already good enough because God has already created me. I'm good enough. There's something I'm not doing. I'm not receiving the energy. I'm not training my body to receive the energy. I'm not drinking enough water or something, but there's something going on within me that I'm not doing. It's not that I need to add something. It's not like I lack something or wasn't born good enough. And that's what we're attempting to teach. I'm telling you, I love art so much. I love culture. I love history because all of these things are connected. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed, make sure you click the link in the description, join the Discord, continue the conversation. I'll see you in the next video.